Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we are looking at Fox Spirit Matchmaker, episode 11. Now, it was kind of interesting to see how different everyone in Haku's past is. So we find out Haku is not the first reincarnation of Toho. He's actually the fifth. And the reason why a lot of people want him to a certain degree is because he's racked up a lot of debt. Because apparently his ancestors or his previous reincarnations never learned what they actually were. So they never knew they had so much power that, the Toho had way back when. And, I want to say that the Foxes, for the most part, got kind of annoyed because they were all, essentially every single one of Haku's ancestors was a worse version of him. And it was kind of funny seeing that because you had some that lasted for a long time, you had some that lasted for only a short while. But they all were drunks. They loved food, obviously, just like Haku, who was captured by food this week, which is kind of funny, but more on that in a second. And they had racked up huge amounts of debts. I think, as the show says it's probably not accurate in comparison to the Chinese version of it, but the show has it as $100 million in debt, I think, or something like that, around that. So yeah, that's a lot of money. That's definitely not. That's not $100 million in, I think, U.S. money. That's yen. So I mean, that's not as much as you may think, but still quite some amount of money. But what I thought was funny though was that somehow, even though they're trying to get Haku for the most part to remember his past completely, I mean, they even set up a elaborate scheme of making him think he escapes, but when he escapes, he ends up falling for a dubious trap. I couldn't believe it. He fell for a piece of food that was on the floor. Dude, why'd you pick up the piece of food on the floor? Why'd you pick up the dumpling? Why? I get you like food, man, but come on. Dang. Haku's brainless sometimes, I swear to God. No, but his character is best because of that. And, I'm only being facetious when it comes to this, but I just think it's funny that that's what caused him to get caught in this week's episode. But I like how they went to these huge lengths of trying to get him to remember by setting up, the moment where his powers activated. And it was the hospital scene where there was the sand fox and the girl fighting because they were pissed off. Well, she was more pissed off at him than anything else. And they were actually there recreating that scene, and she's like, "Oh, what are we supposed to do? Oh yeah, that's right." And I was like, "Wow, well, that's something." But anyways, guys and girls, I do have an announcement. This week's episode, by the way, let me just say it was really good. I liked it. I thought it was. I'm really liking the show so far, kid you not. And it's only been getting better, which I'm happy about, because I hear from everyone that's told me about it that it only gets better from here. It doesn't get worse. So I'm very happy about that. I really am looking forward to what other further episodes we're going to see. I do wonder, if anything, what extent are we going with these characters? What is really the purpose? I don't think it's all just for the debt, because it seems like that might be a too tad of a stupid reason for them to actually be going after him. Yeah, it's a lot of money, yes, but I don't know, they're fox spirits that have loads of money and influence the world. I don't think they really need, his money, even though he's accumulated so much over the course of his lifetime, or, well, his other past lifetimes. But, as I said, by the way, and I want you guys to remember this, I do plan on reviewing, this whole season, obviously, and I will also review the original Chinese one. I want people to understand that because, I had said before that I thought that they were very different. I could tell already. And someone sent me a link the last week, so I appreciate whoever that was. I forgot who you are off the top of my head, and I apologize for that. Because I do have a lot of people that comment on these videos. Probably, actually, the most comments I get are on these videos. But what's interesting was that they showed me the original scene, which was, Fuuki's ancestor leaving the place. And he was, under attack, obviously. They showed me that scene in Chinese, and one thing that was awesome about it was the sheer amount of visual effects and music and everything worked so much better than what the Japanese dub did with this. That I'm like, wow, what the hell? What happened? What legit happened? That scene was 10 times more brutal. It had more impact. It sounded better, and yet you have this. I'm like, what? That's why, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna obviously review this whole season, and I'm gonna put on now probably a one ranking for it, but I'm gonna then watch the original Chinese version, and I'm gonna review it essentially. So I'm gonna be like, okay, so I want to talk about what I loved about the Chinese version in comparison to the Japanese one, and I want to then give that an aggregate score because I feel like that it'd be almost unfair to review this by itself. So don't worry, guys and girls, I do have a plan for it. It will come out to fruition. It will be hopefully beneficial to those who are really watching this and want my honest opinion of the show, because I know that the Japanese dub doesn't give a good way of me saying what's good and bad about it. You know, there's a lot of things that are flawed with it, obviously in the sound department and how they've cut at some scenes because obviously they're too graphic maybe. I mean, the guy had a sword in his head in the last week's episode in the original Chinese version, so I mean, I'm not really surprised they cut that out for the Japanese audience, but you know, we'll see what happens. But I will have a review of that probably we'll try to go for maybe a week after, because I don't want to rewatch everything too slow, but I also at the same time I'm probably going to watch all of it like really fast, because I've obviously seen the thing, so I know what's going to happen to a point. I just want to see what the original looked like in all of its glory, because I do have some interesting things about that. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. As always, if you did, please remember to like the video. Check out my Patreon for more rewards and stuff like that. As always, please subscribe to. That always helps me out. Comment, as always. I keep saying as always, by the way. I don't know why I keep saying that. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I love you all. God bless you all. Seriously, you're awesome. Bye-bye, everyone.